Welcome to the Town of Vesuvius Committee of the Whole meeting of January the 23rd, 2024 at 9 a.m. in council chambers. So first off, we will ask for the adoption of the agenda and any late items. Thank you. So could we have a motion, please? Councillor King, Councillor Chong, all in favor. Thank you. And we welcome Councillor Bennett, who is joining us online. The adoption of some minutes, the Committee of the Whole minutes from January the 9th, 2024. Could I have a motion to adopt those, please? Councillor Poderica, Councillor King, all in favor. Thank you. And first up today, we have a petition and or delegation. And this would be from the Wine Country Racing Association. And I'd like to ask Gary Dell and David Sabian to come up to the microphone, please. Thank you. Oh. Yes, well, and you can see I have to hold it down with my left hand. I'm sorry, this is new. We haven't had this before.
Well, good morning, everybody. And I know it's kind of mucky out there today. Everybody's feet wet from walking in. Hey. Mayor McCordoff, councilors, audience. Let's see, it's a pleasure to be here today and be able to speak to you guys. So we made a submission in response to a letter dated October 2nd or 3rd addressed to me from Gerald Davis. And we're here to try and provide a little more information and resolve this issue. So I assume you've all read the letter. I don't really want to go back and read the letter. The letter was, let's see, edited by a girl that works with us really closely, Dawn Renaud, and she did a great job of making it, I think, a little more pleasant than maybe David or myself. So I just want to add a couple of things to it. We talk a lot about volunteers. Put on a race, it takes us about 30 or 35 volunteers for a race weekend. I don't think that number is in there, but I think it's a substantial amount of people that take to put on an event. We've been doing that, as you all know, for 18 years. On those volunteers, and I will just mention, clear that up, there are no paid people. That's everybody there just working for a sandwich and a whole drink. So we did include, what our donations are over the course of a year. There was a mention of high school bursaries, and I made a note on my letter here that in total over the last, I think, 7 years, we've given out $6,500 to school district 53, $500 to Vesuvius, $500 to Oliver, to a student in the trades. Last year, it mentions Desert Valley Hospice, that was $250, Heart and Stroke 500, Alzheimer's 500. And those sort of just add a little more detail to our donations. Over the course of the year, we do a lot of work parties, it was mentioned again in the letter. Whether it's cleaning up garbage, puncture vine, whatever it is, trying to keep the airport in tip-top shape. Last year we had 3 work parties up there with usually 12 to 15 people at any time. So that was really what I wanted to add to that legend. So I think we end up with saying we ask you to reconsider the $2,500 fine and establish appropriate expectations for necessary overnight parking on the airport grounds during our events. Respectfully submitted by the directors of Wine Country. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. We have lots of additional information that we can present. But I guess we're here to try and resolve this to everybody's satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dell. We certainly have all of the letters, and including the response that you've just been referring to. So we do have those in front of us. As you know, this is not a decision-making meeting. This is for you to present to us. And I will certainly open it up to the rest of council to see if they have any questions for you, before we go on. Anyone have any questions? Go ahead, Councillor Poderica.
Thank you, Your Worship, and Gary, David, and your directors. For the last 12 months, we've had an opportunity to meet with councillors. You'd outlined some, some of the issues that maybe came up over the last year. I appreciate the conversations that we had. Council obviously recognizes, appreciates the events that you put on, great events. The amount of volunteer resources that you required have to host. With that, I think council, definitely wants to get forward and support and help support some of the issues, find solutions, some of the issues that have come up over the last little while.
Anyone else? So can I just say that, thank you for giving us this information. I'm not sure whether you have a specific ask for us today. Is it just to continue on? Because as I understand that there is a contract that Wine Country Racing signs with the town. And I can probably guarantee that we would be certainly looking at that. And I understand that there were some things that that you didn't like about that contract, that you didn't, I think you signed it, so I'm assuming that you agreed to it. However, if there are some conditions that need to be adjusted going forward, then that needs to come up before the contract is signed by the town and by Wine Country Racing. Is that what your ask is, Mr. Dell? Is that what you're asking for?
Last year, I think it was January 24th, I submitted our race dates to 3M and was informed that council had tentatively approved our race dates. And with confirmation of our race dates, we would proceed with the usage agreement. There was she indicated to me that there'd be a few changes, but in essence, the contract would not change from previous contracts. I'm here today, a year later, and we're still dealing with this contract that, yes, we were not overly happy with the contract as it was written. We finally signed that contract 2 days before our first event. Went to Gerald Davis and said, look, we have a schedule. We've got races. We don't have a contract. Like, can we get this thing signed? Yes, it was a whole different contract. All kinds of there were mistakes that we had to correct. There's issues over insurance. We went back and forth from the 24th of January to the 4th, I think, of May, trying to get that contract resolved. And then come October, we received this letter that we violated the contract. And, somebody had done some quick multiplication and was going to find us $6,250 for parking, which I picked up the letter personally and was astounded. I was lost for words when I picked it up from Gerald. I didn't even know. Personally, I didn't say, we're done. Yeah, we can't carry on with that. So anyway, I'm here today, a year later, we're still discussing 2023 contract. I have a meeting tonight with our group. We want to come up with dates. We want to set dates. We got to advertise, and we're in no man's land.
Go ahead, Councillor Chong, you first.
Thank you. Personally, I would love to see these types of events continue. I think we can definitely find some solutions to all the muck that's happening right now. My question will be approximately how many of the participants stay on site overnight?
I can't give you really a definite figure, in discussion and over the, unit staying, we have always provided our own security. And that often has meant at least 2 people staying in an RV at the site. We have $100,000 worth of equipment that stays set up. And, I mean, we have to look after that. If people know there's an event going on, we just need security. Based on a picture that I have, the event that really seemed to instigate, let's see, add to this fine. I think we had possibly 8 vehicles there, RVs that were staying on site. Now there were other trailers. And I think there's letters in this presentation from the Avalon Motel. The people that stay in hotels, they don't bring their trailer into town. There's no room to park it at the Avalon Motel. So those trailers and stuff stay there. So our argument, our point to Gerald over the contract was the only people that are staying there, security or competitors who are there for the 2-day event. And quite a number of those competitors also come into our 30 to 35 volunteers. Because those guys come down early, they help us with setup so they can get out and race. I mean, these guys, Sam and I and Kennedy, and they come down. So as far as total number, 10. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Dell. We certainly will look at all of this information and we will ask staff to help us look at dealing with this sooner than later. I'm not exactly sure whether we'll have an answer for you tonight, but we can certainly look at it today, probably. But in order to sign a contract, we need to make sure that both sides are in agreement with what is being done and what you have agreed to as well. So I can guarantee you that this is not the end of the conversation, that staff will come forward with a report for us and we will talk about it. Yeah. So thank you very much for presenting to us today. Did we need a motion for that, Mrs. Hilson, that we asked staff to come back with some information that we can deal with later?
Yes, we should.
Thank you. Could I have a motion then, please? Councillor Federica, Councillor Chong. All in favor? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming today.
So can I just, let Dave come up if there's any other questions or if he has any other information for a minute.
I think we've already we've agreed that you have, you were given 5 minutes, I believe. So we've gone over that. If there's anything else, please please keep in mind when we come back to you, that you make sure that both sides are talking and that, but I'm sorry, can't have somebody else come up right now after we've made the motion. Okay?
All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. And I know I probably went a little more than 5 minutes, but anyway, good discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. So I do not see anything else on the agenda. So could we have a motion, please, to terminate? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Quadrica, all in favor.